everyone, thank you for joining September's Stampin' Class by Mail. I'm Gina Wieselman of MySweetPaper.com, and I cannot wait for you to make these 3 beautiful cards using the Brightly Gleaming suite of Stampin' Up! Products. I've teamed up with Brenda Cardinal, another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, to offer this class by mail, and Brenda's going to show you exactly what you need to do to make these cards. Next month, it'll be my turn to show you how to make the cards. I hope you have a great time, and make sure to watch to the end of the video to get a sneak peek at October's card designs. Thanks!
Hi everyone, I'm Brenda Cardinal at Stampin' Tulip. I'm excited to show you how to assemble your brightly gleaming Christmas cards today. Just a couple quick things before we get started. First, you may like to have a pen, paper, or the written instructions provided for this class to jot a few notes. And second, feel free to start and stop the video anytime you need to. Let's get started. Today's class features the Brightly Gleaming suite of products from the 2019 holiday catalog. So many beautiful elements and colors to this particular suite. We'll be making cards today using all those pieces and parts, our presents, our Mossy Meadow ornaments, and our pretty Peacock ornaments. Let's get started with our Christmas presents. We'll start out by taking our very vanilla cardstock and using Night of Navy ink, we'll stamp our inside greeting. Now, when you're working with a bold stamp like the Merry Christmas here, it's sometimes helpful to put a Stampin' Pierce mat behind it so you get that little bit extra cush and you can get a better stamped image. Let's see how we do. There we go. All right. Then we'll let that dry for just a second, and then we'll fold that over, and using our bone folder, we'll give that a nice crease. Using our snail adhesive, we'll attach that to our Night of Navy card base, and I'm going to be really generous with my snail, so I make sure you get a good connection between my card base and the Night of Navy. All right, so we got that done. Next, we'll put on our stars present. And we'll locate that about right here. Then we'll take one of our copper pieces and we'll put the top to our box. Now this is just a slightly longer than our Designer Series paper. And then we'll bring in our star elements and we'll put one to kind of finish off that present. Next, we'll take our striped present and we'll put a copper foil bow or ribbon on that. Oh, let's go this way, I think. Yeah, let's go this way. Center that up. And then pop that up and give it a little dimension, we'll bring in our dimensionals. I'm going to be generous with these because I want to make sure we don't have any sag going on. You don't want any saggy Christmas presents. And we'll stagger this present, kind of make the even distance there. And the last thing to do is add our bow. Now, I'm going to show you how to tie that quickly. You take it and you wrap it kind of like a breast cancer bow. And you push the one end in, and then you kind of pull both ends at the same time. There we go. And then take our paper snips. Now I've got my ribbon one out. I marked them with a ribbon so I know which one to use. I don't know if you've ever had that problem, but somebody grabs your good scissors and they cut everything with it, and then you can't cut ribbon very well with it. So there we go. And then we'll take a glue dot. Now I've tied a ribbon around my glue dot so when I peel it back, I don't expose too many of them. Little tip there, and then we add our bow. And there we have it, our Christmas present, Christmas card. All right, let's move on to our Mossy Meadow Ornament card. This is a Z fold card because when you stand on an end, the fold for the card base looks like a Z. All right, so let's see how that works. You start with your card base, and it has two score lines, one at 4 1/4 and one and 2 1/8. And you start out by folding your card in half using your bone folder to make nice creased lines. And then you take the top and you fold it back on itself. And then that creates your Z. Okay? Then let's add the Designer Series paper to the front of that using our snail adhesive again. And again, we'll be quite generous with that. We'll make sure it stays in place. And we'll center that on the front of the card. Give that nice pressure so it makes sure it stays in place. Okay, we'll set that aside, and then we'll move on to our inside greeting. We'll be using the pretty Peacock pad. This is one of the new in colors. And we'll open that up. And we'll put Deck the Halls on the inside. Then we'll attach that to the inside of our card, and we'll center that up on the inside. All right. Next, we're going to make stamp our ornaments, and we'll be using the long scrolly ornament. Little tip here: when you're stamping more than one object on a piece of cardstock, you know, in this class we make 3 of each of card designs. So if you're right-handed, what I suggest you do is you first stamp one ornament to the far right, flip your cardstock around, stamp another one on the far right, and then stamp your third one centered between the two. Now the reason I do that is so that I always have a handle to hang on to when I'm punching. So for example, I have all the left-hand side to hang on to while I'm punching. I'd slide down and punch that one, and then I'd flip the cardstock around, and then I could punch that third one. All right. Then I move on to our small ornament punch, and I would actually punch these the same way as I'd stamp them. Okay, so now we have our ornaments. And then we pull in our second piece of Very Vanilla cardstock and our strings for our ornaments. These are 2 very skinny pieces of copper foil paper. And here's a little hint. We're going to use Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue for this. And as some of you know, it comes out very, very fast. So we want to be kind of careful. So what I do before I get started is I put my Tombow in a little cup. So I force all the glue down to the tip. And so that way I don't have to squeeze very hard when I go to apply the glue. I'm going to visually place these so I can kind of get a sense of where I want my strings. So I'll pull that one off, and then I'm going to take my glue, and I'm going to put just a little bit on there, and then I'm going to take the tip and kind of spread it around a little bit. Okay. Now these are a little longer than what you need, but we wanted to make sure that you had plenty. So we'll put that one down. Okay. And then we'll put the second one down. And do the same thing here. All right, and we'll pull those off. Give them a little tap. So we make sure they stay in place. I'm just going to put a little pressure on the back side, and then I'm going to pull in my paper snips. Now notice this one does not have a ribbon because now this is my paper one. And I'm going to trim off those 2 ends. All right. Then we're going to attach the large ornament using snail. And then I'm going to attach the small one using a dimensional. All right. Then we're going to take this and we're going to attach it to our pretty peacock piece of cardstock. We'll center that up. And we're almost there. Now we just have to attach this. So placement of your dimensionals becomes very important so that it actually opens and doesn't end up being just a postcard. So let's start out by placing one dimensional in the center towards that fold line. And then as we look at this, we want to put the other two dimensionals here. So I'm going to flip that over. And I know it's on this side. So I'll put one here and one here. And I'll peel all those papers off. And then I'm going to cover up my inside greeting so it's a surprise when they open the card. And attach that, and there we go. And of course, it's always fun to have a decorative envelope as well. So I stamped the same ornament as at the front of the card on my envelope. All right, our next card is our pretty peacock ornament card. And for this card, you got supplies to make this one, and then supplies to make the reverse. Notice the ornament piece is now here, and the decorative pretty peacock piece is over here now. So you've got supplies to make two of this one and one of this, or vice versa. So for my demonstration, I'm going to replicate this one. So I'm going to introduce a new tool for you, and that is the Stamparatus. I don't know if any of you have had a chance to play with it or not, but I'm going to show you why I like it for this card. So let me pull that in. And you'll notice I have both plates. I have the one on the right and the one on the top, and I have our stamps already mounted on there. So I'm going to put our cardstock, this is our card base, our very vanilla card base. I'm going to put it there. And I'm going to start out by stamping the ornament on the inside of the card. So I'm just going to ink that up. And then I'm going to close the panel here and stamp my ornament. So now I have a little ornament on the inside. But here's where I really like it. So we're back to that bold stamp. We're going to stamp Merry Christmas. Oh, and I wanted to tell you another little tip. Just to make sure you can ink it properly, it's handy to put a stamp case underneath the side that you're using to stamp your image. I'm going to put a little pressure, okay? And I'm going to open that back up, and you'll notice I didn't get quite, let me see if I can pick this up so you can see it, quite the solid image that, that I was hoping for. So I'm going to put it back down, and this is the beauty of Stamparatus, is now I can ink it up again, close the door here, and it stamps exactly in the same spot. And if I want it even darker, I can do it yet again. There we go. Stamparatus, great tool. Great tool. And I'm going to quickly pull off the ornament here because we're going to need that in a second. And I can move the Stamparatus. We're done with that. So Stamparatus, great tool if you don't already have it. All right, and now we're going to stamp our little ornaments. And I'm going to stamp these the same way as I stamped the earlier one. I'm going to, because I'm right-handed, I'm going to stamp one on the right side, flip my paper, stamp one again on the right side, and then one in the middle. Okay? And then I'm going to punch it out. There we go. Alrighty, so then we want to create our banner on our front of our card. This banner right here. So we want to start out by stamping Deck the Halls in tight up in that corner, like that. All right, and then we want to stamp our, oops, forgot to bump this one up quickly here. And Be Jolly This Season. So I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to make sure this is nice and tight to the next one. There we go. All right, and then we're going to create our banner. So I think we're all done stamping. So here's a little trick for when you are going to make a banner. Some of you may have noticed that my grid paper is upside down, and I did that on purpose so that I can show you another beauty of this grid paper, which we do sell, and that is it has a zero ruler, like a zero center ruler along the top edge. And so since my cardstock is 2 inches, I'm going to mark a little spot here at the 0, so I know I'm exactly in the center. And then I'm going to take my paper snips, and I'm going to make a vertical cut close to my greeting. And then I'm going to go from the bottom left corner up to that vertical cut, and then from the bottom right corner up to that vertical cut. Let's see how accurate I can be. Oh, we're going to fudge just a little bit here. Okay, and that's how you make a banner. Now, if you happen to have, or you want to purchase the triple banner punch, you can achieve that same thing quickly with that. And it's called a triple banner because it has the 1 inch marking, the 1.5, and the 2 inch. So you can use it to make 3 different size banners. Triple banner punch. All right, so now we have our banner, we have our ornament, and now we have to add in our designer series paper and put it all together. So we're going to start out by attaching the skinny piece of designer series paper to the left edge, and we're going to leave just about 1/8 of an inch showing of the pretty peacock. And then we'll bring our card base back in, and that should be dry, even though I stamped it a million times. And then we'll add this to our front of our card. And we'll have a little border all the way around there, so that'll be nice, little very vanilla border. Okay. Now we need to add in this. Now this, I know it looks like on the card, it looks like it's attached to the back and it opens like this. But then if it did that, then we wouldn't be able to see our greeting. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay this down on the back like that. And then we're going to bring our multi-purpose glue back in. And we're going to put down very close to the edge, leaving a 1/4 inch to the bottom, 1/4 inch to the top. And we're going to put a little line of glue like that. Not too much because it will spread, so you want to be very careful about that. And then we want to double check that we have our borders here, here, and here that are equal. And then we just close the card, put a little pressure on it, and then it picks it up. Okay. So then all we need to do is add our banner to the front. Again, we'll get out those dimensionals. And I think I'm going to put one in the middle too. I'm going to flip over my ornament and put one in the middle there too. Okay, so then we just pull off those papers. And put our banner on the front. I'm going to overlap the DSP on the left a little bit. And then pull off the paper on the ornament. And put that up there in the corner. And there we go. And then it's always fun to decorate the envelope as well. So there's your 3 cards. All right, as we promised, we have a few surprises for you. And the first one is we have more samples to show you using this brightly gleaming suite of products. These cards have been made just for this video and have not been posted anywhere yet. So let me show you. We have another Christmas present card using that very pretty DSP, brightly gleaming. This one's a little bit more simplistic, but what it does is it does fill out the whole card, but I think it also lends itself very nicely to other kinds of gift giving, birthdays and that kind of thing. And you also get to see a little bit bigger piece of this very lovely ribbon. It's copper and vanilla. It's so pretty. The next sample I have for you is another ornament card. And this one we've just taken and we've punched the ornaments out of the designer series paper. So let me just pull that up so you can see that. So pretty. This one's pretty quick to create. The next one features the brightly gleaming foil elements. And these are lovely. You get multiple sheets like this. Let me just pull this up so you can see what you get. Okay, big stars, little stars, ornaments, and some branches. And so I took that, and like our last sample that we made, I created a Christmas card, and it's assembled just like the other one is. And then I thought, what could we do with this suite of products other than Christmas cards? Because I wanted to see what I could do for after the holidays. So this next sample uses those same things. And what I did is I took that large ornament and I cut it in half and I spread it out a little bit and then covered the middle up with a piece of designer series paper. And then I also used the star elements in the foil elements, and then also the star. Can you see that? I popped a star element on top of the foil element. So that is an idea for a non-Christmas card. And I have one more for you, and that is one more non-Christmas card, and that is creating a balloon card. And so what this is, or it's actually a birthday card. And so what I did was I took the ornament here, and rather than using an ornament, I turned it upside down and I used it as a balloon. And then I took and I punched a 1-inch piece of foil paper, the pretty Peacock foil paper, and I backed 3 of those ornaments so they look like balloons. So pretty. And then let me tell you about the strings and the bow for the card. They come from the beautiful bouquet stamp set, the strings do, and the bow comes from the coordinating dies that go with that stamp set. And so the strings actually feature our new Delica copper pad, and I don't know if you can see it, but it has a little shimmer to it. Can I make it happen? There you go. And if you invest in that pad, you might want to invest in the reinker. I think you'll get a lot of use out of that. It's so pretty. And guess what? It dries. It doesn't smudge. It's awesome. Now the bow, I could use copper foil paper, but what I decided to do is I had used all the elements out of the sheet and of the foil elements, and I took my die and I laid it on there and I punched the bow right out of there. Or die cut the bow right out of there. So that's where that bow comes from. Another kind of fun fold. Okay. And then over the top, because we can, another Christmas card. And this one features, I got all the toys out. We're embossing with a new hammered metal embossing folder. We've die cut circles, and we've punched, and we used ribbon, and we used elements. So we used all the stuff here. So if you want to go all out, there you go. There's an idea for you. And the last surprise we have for you is Gina and I have created a Pinterest board for Brightly Gleaming Sweet, and we have pinned lots of other samples out there. So if you need more ideas, follow us and you can check that out. Okay, hang on just a minute. Gina has a few more things to share with you. Thanks.
Thanks for demonstrating how to make those beautiful cards, Brenda. I'm already excited for October's Stampin' class by mail, and I have a sneak peek of the card designs for you. We will be using the Come to Gather suite of Stampin' Up! Products, including the Gather Together stamp set, Tags and Feathers elements, Come to Gather ribbon, and my favorite, the stunning Come to Gather Designer Series paper. Sign up for October's Stampin' class by mail by September 25th, and you'll receive an extra bonus of 2 complete cards with envelopes that will ship together with your October class kit. Also, check your email from Brenda or me, or contact one of us if you're not already on our email list, for an extra bonus referral opportunity for new friends you invite to participate in class by mail. We're so excited that you joined us for the first Stampin' class by mail, and we'd love to receive your feedback. So let us know what you liked, what you didn't, and how we can make this experience even better for you. Happy stamping!